Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you now game number 2 in the series. Hasuobs currently in the hole, 1-0, as he spawns as the blue Protoss player here on the bottom right hand side of the map. MMA, the red Terran on the top left. So far this is looking to be a pretty interesting series. We saw MMA open up with dual racks, dual Reaper pressure into a little bit of a delayed Terran push. Now, I did have concerns. Did MMA deal enough damage with those Reapers in order for that push to be justified in being delayed? It appeared that was the case, and now it puts Hasuobs a little bit off tilt. He now saw an opening that he doesn't normally see and doesn't normally play against, and he's perhaps thinking, okay, how do I deal with an opening like that? Meanwhile, MMA can think to himself, you know what? You've seen that special opening. Now I can still go into a barracks. I can still get a gas, but I can try and play an economic game to throw you off your game. This is where things can get very, very interesting in StarCraft 2 when you start to get these longer series. Best of 5, where after you guys know each other or after you guys seen enough plays from each other that you can really try and pull off a more of an unorthodox strategy. We are looking now, I don't know how that little banner is being floated there by any means, as we are now looking at a probe making his way and scouting off to the north. Perhaps that was what Hasuobs just thought to himself, you know what, I didn't scout the last game, I didn't scout early enough, and because I didn't scout, I had no idea what was incoming. The probe now wandering around on the inside here. He spots a reactor, and this is going to be a interesting opening. This is the barracks reactor opening, which normally allows for a command center down over here rather quickly. Not quite sure what is going on. This probe wants to make sure he has a good sense of the entire situation. And so far, we still have not seen the command center come down in over here. Sometimes Terran players will just use that reactor here, not even bother adding on a supply depot. He can start double training up Reapers, which are very, very gas intensive, and then build the command center off here. So far, he is at 19/27. That supply depot is still or no longer being supply blocked. He could have started his command center a while ago, but he knows this build better than I, and he wants to make sure that he's never supply blocked, calculating what the economic difference is between building this command center or building up a supply command center 25 seconds earlier, or building up a supply depot. So far, more and more SCVs still being trained. Double Reapers now on their way out looking for proxy pylons, as one is now doing a bit of scouting in the meantime. There is a probe off over here. It is going to get scouted out rather easily. That probe, oh wait, notice that Reaper is actually going to just miss that probe, and the probe should just be backing off. Did he scout it? Yes, he did. Oh, that poor probe was hoping to just run away and hide, but that Reaper with good eyesight able to catch that. Now, a lone zealot trying to charge in here. Is it going to do any damage? It potentially could. There is only a handful of... oh, what is this? The one SCV just running around in circle. 4 Marines walk up to a zealot. That sounds like the beginning of a bad joke, and for that zealot it is, as that zealot needs to get the heck out of there. They're a little bit of a foot race, but with a Reaper now on the tails of that zealot, that does not look good at all either. 2 Reapers. Hey, if the... Oh my goodness, so close at taking down that Reaper. MMA getting a bit lucky there. A half a swipe would have been enough to finish it off mid-animation. Alright, Stalker has taken down that SCV. Not quite sure how a particle blast of pure energy can actually... Well, I guess if it's pure energy, it can push that SCV off to the side there, as we are looking at the Reaper trying to make its way inside. Oh, is it going to be able to get off any shots? 16 hit points, over 60. The Stalker is now there as well, and that Reaper will get easily handled. We are transferring probes down here to the natural expansion. Meanwhile, already upgraded to an orbital command by MMA at his natural, as the game is going to be turning in an economic direction. Robotics facility coming online. most likely Observer will be trained up next. Hasuobs does not know what's going on inside his opponent's base, sending that Observer all the way across the map. Meanwhile, MMA continuing to press his economic advantage, building up a third command center here, and he may leave this one command center and upgrade it to an orbital command, but leave it here for a little bit of time. He has not yet saturated his main. He has not even gotten full gas at his main either, as he's still quite a ways away from saturating the 2 bases that he's on. So far, you can see that the medevac is going to be moving out. There are 2 Widow Mines in that cargo compartment. The Observer now going to be catching this, not catching this at all, as the medevac going to simply fly overhead. Oh, this could be bad. There is that photon overcharge, and that is an interesting countermeasure to try and stop the medevac. All right, there is 1 Widow Mine. And is there a Widow Mine here as well? Yes, there is. The Widow Mine did get 3 shots. The sentries are there to clean it up. Meanwhile, down over here, the Stalkers all get blasted there. But that was a trade that Hasuobs was willing to do. A new Observer should be making its way over. Where is it? Where did the Observer go? I know there's an Observer. There it is. There's the Observer making its way over. And that poor Widow Mine will get taken down. Taking a look at the losses. Losses slightly higher, 525 versus 450 for MMA. But MMA invested a lot in this drop, and it really hasn't paid out in spades as he would have liked. 1 Marine holding position here, making sure that there is no expansion down there on the 7 o'clock typical third base location, as the Observers, sentries, and stalkers are all gathered around. Marines now quickly coming over, trying to push back a couple of probes. There is 1 lone sentry there, able to push back that medevac down to 41 hit points on that medevac. Has to be careful. May it pick up that 1 Marine? No, it's not going to even bother picking up that Marine there. That Marine will have his last stand as the medevac looking to return home, perhaps get repaired before being sent out into the field again. All right, there is this massive bio army. It looks as though MMA was forced to use supply drops, as he was supply blocked here. Supply drops obviously not the best way for Terran players to go. They normally just want to build supply depots and call in mules. But MMA, oh, what is this? The medevac now going to be flying by. Is it going to be able to drop inside the main? Is it going to perhaps be able to take down the probe? The medevac now a little bit concerned and cornered into where it should be going. The medevac now, instead coming back over here, gonna catch this probe off guard. Is it? Oh, there goes the Stalkers. There goes the medevac, as the Stalkers are all going to finish up that Marine there, not even taking critical damage at all. Orbital Command taking that 1 or 2 o'clock expansion location. We are going to be up on 3 bases here, as SCVs are now being transferred over. 1-0 upgrades. 1-1 upgrades on the way. You can see armor upgrades coming in. Hasuobs a little bit later on the upgrades than his opponent. More of a reactionary measure than just getting ahead of his opponent. You can see charge now coming in, and this is the same build that Hasuobs used in the previous game. Perhaps this is his long game build, and he is in a very comfortable position. Both of the players have not lost that many workers. 7 workers killed versus 1. Not nearly as many as the previous game. 64 harvesters compared to 58. Nothing that a couple of chrono boosts can't handle. But MMA is still placing down the pressure. You can see there are medevacs with Marines off over here. Another engagement there, as well as the Archon tries and do a little bit of chasing. The Mothership Core down to 106 energy. We'll be able to get 1 more photon overcharge, but he cannot rely on this photon overcharge to help for that much longer. It does take a lot of energy for that Mothership Core to get back up to 100 energy, and then get enough for that photon overcharge once more. The medevac looks like it's ready to come through again. There you go. That photon overcharge getting in some extra damage once more, and that was actually the best thing for Hasuobs, leaving his army here, not getting another photon overcharge, and just waiting for the army to come back in. Mothership Core back up to 140 energy here. There are also High Templars in the mix with Psystorm research. This could potentially be a little bit of a game-changing arrangement there, as the Marines and the Marauders are just doing a little bit of a dance. MMA has to realize that there's an observer here, and this is just one of those tricks. If you have if you can't tell if there's an observer, you can try to scroll down, and I don't know if you can tell, but on my screen I can see the slight cloaking flicker that happens when a observer or a cloaked unit is moving. Back over here, Zealots are in position with High Templar. It looks as though the High Templar are slowly gathering up that energy for that Psystorm, and if MMA missteps at any point, he is going to be in a bit of trouble, as the Zealot gets blasted back right there. One lone Marine there quickly taken down. You can see the Mothership Core nearly back up to maximum energy again. There are double command centers at the front, most likely going to be turning into planetary fortresses covering each other. The Zealots now coming around with Stalkers, and there is the engagement. The Zealots trying to chase after all of those units here. This could potentially be bad, as MMA does have a bunker and supply depots to try and fend off the next attack. Marauders and Marines with Ghosts now, and there you have it. There is the Zealots. Oh, there's a beautiful Psystorm catching many of those units off guard. The Ghosts, I believe, were trying to get off some snipes, did not get it, but that was still a very brilliant play by MMA and by Hasuobs. Now, the number of High Templars on the field, 5 in this group. I believe 4 of them have enough energy for a Psystorm, as we are now looking at a Zealot run by here. That run by quickly gets hammered by these Marauders. Taken down, no real problem. We are still sitting on 3 bases to 3, as both of them just settling for trading of armies to try to get into better position. We are now in a situation where the players will have to start taking uncomfortable expansions. You can take a look at this. Oh, the Zealots are going to be able to finish warping in, but they're going to get taken down rather easily. This platoon of Marauders and Marines just able to completely finish that off with really no harm, no foul. Meanwhile, there is a Marine off over here. It does spot this proxy pylon, and now this probe is going to try and run away. Nope, not going to even bother, as this Marine having target practice with this pylon, and that pylon will just... Nope, what is this? No, Zealots gonna go ahead and finish it off. All right, there you go. There goes the Zealot. A little bit of bloody action there, as the Marauders, Marines, and Ghosts now making their way down. So far, a scanner sweep does reveal all of these units now coming inside. Oh, High Templars are in position. There is that Time Warp. Oh, beautiful, beautiful feedback, but the Ghost able to get off a double snipe even through that Time Warp right there. Beautifully done. MMA with that micro getting an even trade out of that for the very least, but we are now also looking at High Templar. 4 High Templar ready to go. There is a photon cannon in position, and I like this maneuver, or this building placement by Hasuobs. It forces MMA to lead, and not with the Ghosts, since the Ghosts would just get taken down by those units there. All right, oh, what is happening here? This could be bad. There are a whole bunch of Ghosts that are currently cloaked, and oh, there's the Psystorm. There goes a whole bunch of Ghosts. The Ghosts do get absolutely punished right there, as there is one lone Zealot stuck on the wrong side of the force field, quickly trying to get a Psystorm. Not sure if there's any units there at all, as the Ghosts now try to re-blend in with the rest of the army, and there is still an observer overhead. All right, the Mothership Core does not have enough energy for a Time Warp. Otherwise, this battle could be potentially very bad. MMA trying to get in a good flank there, but the Psystorm acting more as a zoning effort to make sure that the Marauders and Marines cannot walk freely. There is another Psystorm comes down, raining on that entire group of Marauders and Marines, and damage is being dealt across the board. Oh, what is that High Templar doing? That High Templar just... oh, can it get off another Psystorm? No, it does not. It looked like it wanted to cast another Psystorm, but there was a time delay there now, as the Zealots are just going to simply run inside the main base, or the natural expansion. All right, the Zealots here could get some easy kills, taking down some SCVs. The entire Terran force being forced to pull all the way back, as the Zealots having a fun time here, taking down unit after unit. Workers killed 18 compared to 10 units killed. Slightly higher for Hasu. as we are looking now, number of workers 72 to 54. This is definitely good news for the Protoss army, as this command center going to get taken down rather quickly. Free command center given up by MMA. Once it landed, the Zealots able to quickly surround it and take it out. Alright, we are now going into 3-3 upgrades. Meanwhile, we are now going into shield upgrades for the Terran. Not quite sure why we're not seeing level 3 upgrades at all. Perhaps Hasuobs knows that when you get into the higher and higher upgrades, sometimes that third upgrade really isn't worth it, as it does not reduce the number of kill shots necessary to finish off a unit. Probes now warping in a massive number of gateways here. What is this? 6 new gateways to replenish that army in an instant. However, he does not have nearly as large of a bank as MMA. Meanwhile, MMA finally taking up another command center here with that double expand. Also, double orbitals here as opposed to double planetary fortresses, which would have stopped something. Anyways, here we go. Zealots now engaging here. Vikings. Ghosts now pushing in the Marauders and the Marines. Oh, this is just an absolute hammer dropping in on this army. Hasuobs perhaps just pushing about a little bit too far here, and that was an absolute punishing blow. Stalkers now trying to get into those Vikings in and push them back. As long as the Colossus can stay alive, that should be enough. But MMA looking for where he can be the most effective, and it looks, wow, another EMP shockwave, I believe, just getting all of, hitting one Stalker and one Stalker only. Okay, let's see, down over here, Dark Templars now ready to make their way into the field. One Marine quickly taken out here. Meanwhile, the Planetary Fortress able to finish off that one Zealot, but I don't believe the Dark Templars will be able to do very much of anything in this situation. Zealots and Dark Templars are all here ready to go. Let's take a look at this. This Dark Templar finishing off the sights, so effective against these Marauders, as we're looking at, Zealots now trying to push their way in here, attempting to take down a Planetary Fortress, which they have absolutely no right in doing. Those Zealots quickly taken down. Planetary Fortress, no neoplate armor yet, as we're now looking at 3 upgrades coming online soon with level 1 shield upgrades. Those shield upgrades will benefit those Archons the most, especially against Marines, as the amount of damage from Marine will drop considerably from 9 to 6. 50% damage reduction if it gets up to 3 upgrades. That is a lot of damage to absorb, essentially making those shields 50% more effective. 50% more effective, and that is a lot of shield points, 350 on those Archons. Alright, it looks like Hasuobs is in a good position here. What's going on? The Stalkers are just simply walking in here, gonna try to take down, this was an absolute punishing battle, but that is a lot of Psy Storm that the units are trying to walk through. Ghosts are getting taken down. The Stalkers, this army is just way too much out of position, but there are still going to be several reinforcements. The Stalkers able to take down some of the Vikings, but not before all the Colossus are now taken down, as we are going into Guardian Shield. Alright, this is the target practice. There's some Manor Mules coming into play. MMA saying, get the heck out of my game, I have this. But does MMA really? There is expansions all across. We are pretty even. MMA is still going to be able to replenish a lot of those units pretty easily here. It looks like this Nexus will be falling down, and Hasuobs fighting perhaps with a little bit more vengeance, a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, knowing that his opponent Manor muled him. Alright, there is some Psy Storm. The Ghosts, the High Templars could be coming in. There could be another Psy Storm there. Yes, it is. Damage is slowly adding up here, but a beautiful double snipe up onto the high ground is forcing all of these units to back off again. Alright, a lot of scanner sweeps being used there, and we are now sitting on a 60 supply difference between these two armies. MMA deciding to back off. He knows that he is deep into enemy territory. He doesn't like what he sees. Income is about even here. Terran having a slight advantage, but that is not going to hold for long. As you can see that the Terran has outmined his base, his third base. The main base has a couple of mineral patches, but that is also one of the problems with Terran overall. When you do have a lot of mules, you can mine out your bases, and when you mine out your bases, you're forced to take up more territory much more quickly. That's what we're seeing here, but is there enough of an economic advantage? Oh, massive EMP shockwave. That was a complete and horrible misstep by Hasuobs, and the only thing that was keeping them in that game was the amount of energy on those Archons. Now that all of those, those High Templars, now that all of those High Templars are pretty much out of the game, that is just going to be very, very bad news. Dark Templars now starting to do what they do best, swiping from the dark, from the shadows, but a quick scanner sweep does reveal them. As MMA going to finish this up, there is the GG, well played, a misstep by Hasuobs, destroying any chances he had at coming back. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed Game 2 as we now move into Game 3, where Hasuobs is looking to at least get a point on the board, taking one game at a time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And please stay tuned for Game 3.